Hello, nerds. Welcome to GeekBeast. It is the Sunday special for Founders Day. Today is Rodney's birthday, so we're celebrating Founders Day. We're doing a charity stream, and we're glad that you're here. I mean, we normally don't do this, but I have Rakai with me tonight. Say what's up to people, Rakai.
Hello, Governor.
And we normally talk about the news, and we're going to do so tonight as well. It's kind of like the DNC at the DNC convention, which is Rodney's birthday, and we are here to celebrate it. And he has done a Fortnite today. He's done World of Warcraft today. We just had Binge Worthy today. Pod Squadron's following right behind us. And yeah, we're really doing well. We're supporting the charity World Central Kitchen, who does good and supplies food and supplies to people around the world. You all should definitely donate to the charity. Um, let's jump into some news, Rakai. Anything you want to share with the people before we jump in?
No, I'm looking forward to talk about the news. I haven't been on GeekBeast in a little while, so I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Yeah. The first bit of news we're going to start out with is this is probably making Rodney really excited. The Lord of the Rings anime looks appropriately epic. So,
Mm-hmm.
so Peter Jackson came back and was like, "Hey, we're going to do Lord of the Rings anime. The Lord of the Rings, the War of Rohirrim,
Rohirrim. Mm-hmm.
Rohirrim, and it's a Warner Brothers picture, and it's getting an IMAX release. Are you gonna go see it?
I don't know if I'm gonna go see it in IMAX. I definitely want to see it. Because for those who are unaware or not as up to date on their their Lord of the Rings lore, the Rohirrim are the basically the horse lords who in the tower, the two towers, the
Okay.
ones that Gandalf was leading that came over when the war, um, when the Uruk-hai were attacking the castle, and it looked like
Mm-hmm.
the everything was lost. And
Mm-hmm.
Gandalf told him, "Look to at first light, looked,
Mm-hmm.
and he came down the hill with all the people on the horses led by Carl Urban. Um, that they are the Rohirrim, the horse lords. So this is their war and how they got divided and all of that. And you're right, the trailer for this, I guess not an anime, but this animated property looks pretty good. I mean, and it's Peter Jackson, so
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm quite excited for it too. I don't know a lot about that world outside of the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. I was curious to get more depth on who's who and what's what in that world. And I don't really remember those books. I read them in like ninth grade and 10th grade. Kind of think of. I'm like, man, I don't really recall those books that well, and so I'm quite excited for it. It's directed by Kenji Kamiyama, who did Blood, the Last Vampire, Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. And yeah, and Peter Jackson is the executive producer. So
Okay.
I think it's really going to probably be really, really good because he's coming. It's coming December 13th and it's in IMAX theaters. I mean, that's just a really, IMAX just came the name for big theater. That's all it is. Name for big theater.
I mean, but
And
you talking about, was a screen that's what, 3 stories high, and
yep. Hmm.
and they got sound and screen, and then they filming like 70 millimeters or something. They film it
This is
super
all
high.
digital.
Yes, but I mean it's like super high definition. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you think you're doing something at home because you got a 4K TV at home, and you have 4K Blu-rays, or you might have a channel or Netflix show that's at 4K or whatever that can handle it. Um, isn't like IMAX like 8K, 12K or something like that, like something
Real
ridiculously
IMAX
where you
is, yeah, real film is always a better format. But
mm-hmm.
most IMAX movies are coming off digital. So they're all digital, they're all like 12K, 16K. Yeah. Real film is like nothing beats it.
And
Nothing.
nothing beats it. No.
Yeah, it's like a raw eye looking at an image versus it being
Mm-hmm.
pixelated. But yeah, it's interesting. They have a lot of speakers in the walls though. They have a lot of
Yeah.
speakers in IMAX theaters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's
almost was it like overload of your senses and stuff. Like
mm-hmm.
I've been to one real IMAX theater, and it was mind blowing. And I can think of plenty of great movies I would want to watch in IMAX.
Mhm.
And then I've been to one of the fake IMAX theaters, and I was like, this ain't
Yeah.
it. This
Most of them are fake IMAX theaters.
yeah.
Just the word for a really big screen. When you go to a real IMAX, there was one in Anaheim at the Elwood Theater. I think that's right. And it was amazing. It was like, wow. And I've been to an IMAX theater where they had seat kickers. So they actually put speakers in your seats.
Yeah, it's
And
kind of the
it
beginning of like a 4D
4D experience.
experience. Yeah.
There's
Hmm.
I
a
went to
the real IMAX here are it's the Irvine,
Yeah.
Ontario Mills, Universal City Walk, and Man's Chinese.
Hmm.
Those are the real IMAX, and they're massive. I always go to the Irvine one because that's pretty much the closest one to me. Like I saw Avatar, both Avatars there, and
mm,
it just I've seen Batman, like Dark Knight, countless,
Hmm.
Dune. You know, like it. Yeah, sound alone is just amazing. The sound alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I went to so I'm out here in the Midwest, and so there's none. We have a fake IMAX here in Louisville, Kentucky. But there's a real IMAX that is connected to the museum, like the White River Snake Museum or some, something like that in Indianapolis. There's one that's very close to where the Indianapolis Colts play. There's a museum and they have a real one. And I saw the first Matrix movie there. To see
Dope.
that and to see it in a real IMAX movie was just so
Nice.
it was yeah. It's there's nothing like it.
Nice. Nice. Something else is another story. Guillermo del Toro is live tweeting his beef with a ghost in a haunted hotel in Scotland. The Oscar-winning
Mhm.
filmmaker has caused something of a viral moment by live tweeting his paranormal updates while staying at the most haunted room in an old hotel in Aberdeen, Scotland, where he's currently filming a new movie based on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Del Toro first wrote that he was staying in the room on Tuesday, and after one of his producers apparently vacated it in fear over odd electrical and physical occurrences. In an update
I
later, like yesterday, Del Toro wrote that while nothing supernatural has actually happened yet, the atmosphere in the room is oppressive, and he's had to sleep in another room in order to get enough rest. I'm staying there early and late in the day, but something is in that room with me. Del Toro wrote. Anything
listen,
happens, and I will update you. He'll let it to his listeners.
listen. He know what to do. He know the phone number. We all know it. Who do you call?
Ghostbusters.
That's right. You better get with the tabs. He better do what he's supposed to do. Uh,
Yeah.
listen. Paul Rudd and his little crew will show up, and hopefully they bring Ernie
Hmm.
Hudson with them.
Hmm.
So the crazy thing is that's one of those things, where it hinges on what people believe. And I'm not here to tell people one way or the other. If you believe that there's spirits and things in the world, there's definitely energy. Um, Again, here in Louisville, Kentucky, we have a place called uh what is it called? Waverly Hills.
Hmm.
And it used to be a sanatorium. It was a tuberculosis hospital that closed, I think, in the 50s, or it was really popular. It was like the number one tuberculosis hospital in the United States in the 50s. And they
Oh
said
wow.
the amount of experiments and just grotesque, what have you, that they performed in that place trying to figure out, trying to, heal, cure people of tuberculosis, and the amount of people that died in that place, that there are spirits, that there's energy, and allegedly, it is one of the top 10 most haunted places in America. I don't know. I don't fool with that stuff. I don't do supernatural. I got enough problems here just on the mortal coil. I don't need supernatural problems in my life. So I don't mess with that. But if you're into that sort of thing, um, he could have a point, especially, you're in Europe. Europe got such a history and all them castles and all the battles and things that have been fought over and all the people that died. And, you know, maybe, maybe what he's doing is not bullshit. And, you know, I don't know. That's, It's interesting to say the least. It's a hell of a story.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. I don't believe in it stuff, but it sounds very interesting. A scary room doesn't bother me. It's when people get murdered that would bother me most. It's someone's like,
I
oh,
mean, I
mm,
consider how my spirituality works. I'm prayed up and I'm good, but I also don't put myself in, you know what I'm saying? That's just like saying
mm-hmm.
I'm good, I can fight and I'm this and that, but I don't go walking through the hood in the middle of the night unarmed and shit with $1,000 hanging out of my pocket. I don't put myself in dumbass
Yeah,
situations. So to me,
exactly.
that's a dumbass situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This place is supposed to be haunted. Let me go see. Hell to the no.
You
I
don't want to
don't need to
stay in a
see.
place like that. You know,
Hell
they
no.
may give you some good words of advice.
What?
You
You know,
know,
like Amityville Horror, get out. That's a word of advice. I'm getting the hell
no,
out.
they
I
never
got it.
know. You know what I'm saying? They've been in that room for hundreds of years. They may teach you something about sex. I don't know anything.
Listen, at this point, I don't need them to teach me nothing about it that Prawn Hub or somewhere else didn't teach me. Listen, if they can't drop a bag on me, drop, you know what I'm saying? We
Maybe
know
they tell
next
you.
week's
Maybe
lottery
they tell you
tickets.
that. Maybe
Listen,
they're like, "Yo, I'm gonna tell you where I hid my monies. That's why.
well,
That's how I died. I'm gonna tell you where I hid my
listen,
monies.
listen, I will never know then because I ain't going.
You
So,
ain't
you know.
going.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. I'm
So
just
more
saying.
power to the people who like that type shit. I ain't one of them.
I'm just trying to, help you out there. The horror sounds great. Say in a hotel, scary people around you. They're like, yo, I'm coming home with you. I make sure the roaches don't come. They may look out for you, Rakai.
I
They
mean,
may actually
whatever.
look out for you.
Whatever. Listen, I'm doing a decent job of looking out for me because I don't put myself in dumbass situations. So
Okay. Okay. That's fair.
What are
That's
y'all
fair.
talking about?
Oh, we're talking about Del Toro is staying in a hotel in Scotland that's supposed to be haunted, and he's live
and he's
tweeting what's
live
going on.
tweeting his beef with a ghost. Guillermo
Yeah,
del Toro
yeah,
is
Guillermo del
live
Toro.
tweeting his beef with a
It's
ghost
the
in
ghost
a
hasn't done
hotel he's
anything.
staying with. And
He just said he ain't been able to get a really good night's sleep in it.
Look, man, if
he
that's
said
what he
because the
needs in
he
order to
said
keep dropping bangers, fine, honk the shit out of his ass, please.
he said the energy in his castle hotel room is oppressive. And he said even though nothing particularly supernatural has happened yet, he just know it's a ghost there haunting him. And I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to check it out. I don't need to find out. None of that.
I hear you. I guess it's
I
okay.
think Guillermo, who's a better creature designer than Guillermo is outside of like I don't
Peter
know.
Jackson.
Peter Jackson's
Peter
Jim
good, but
Jackson.
Henson.
Peter.
I don't think he's better than Guillermo.
Jim
I mean,
Henson.
Jim
Jim
Henson is
Henson's
that
good,
guy.
but better than Guillermo.
Yes. Have you
What?
watched
Mm-hmm.
Dark Crystal?
Yeah, Dark Crystal's cool, but
Mirror
compared to
Mask.
Guillermo,
Mirror
Now
Mask.
you got
Dark
no,
Crystal.
you got to look at that. Guillermo probably learned at the feet of Jim Henson. You know what I'm
oh well,
saying?
yeah,
He
I
he
certainly agree with
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I
he
certainly agree with that.
developed his craft and took it in a more, where Jim Henson could do creatures, but he was more whimsical.
Yeah.
And Guillermo said, you know what, I love what he does, but I'm gonna go a little bit more dark with it. Jim Henson is that guy. Guillermo is probably the next dude.
Yo, he is.
What
There's
you over
nobody
there
better
eating
than him right
sushi?
now. I mean, I
You
had to.
know eating
Sorry,
sushi.
it's. I have to eat it hot because
Yeah.
I'm trying to eat it off the thing.
Speaking of
Get some kimbap.
sushi, eating sushi, did y'all see the group Young Posse's video? They're
Who?
they're a new K-pop band called Young Posse. They're not new. They got a K-pop girl group called Young Posse. They got a song called "Ain't That."
Oh, is that them two girls that's rapping on the bus?
No, 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 no,
Ah,
no, no, no. That's all a different crew. That's all a different crew.
What?
Ain't That Young Posse's four girls, and they made a Grand Theft Auto
oh,
like music
yes,
video, and
yes,
it's
I've
Oh, I
seen
about
heard
that.
eating
about that.
donuts and stuff. And it's called "Ain't That."
Yes,
It's called
yes,
"Ain't
I
That."
have seen that. That
It
is
looks.
fire.
It is. It looks. It's an interesting video. It's based on Grand Theft Auto and West Coast rap influence, and where the lines of cultural appropriation are drawn, maybe within the framework of that K-pop starting precisely as replicating Black American music. They're like, hey, we're gonna make that. We're gonna make this Snoop Dogg like video, and we're gonna talk about eating some donuts in on the West Coast in the lowrider. And
Here's the crazy thing about it though. Here's the crazy thing about it, and you know what I'm saying. It's very easy to say, cultural appropriation
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. However, a lot of the rappers who are American born and you would assume are born in this shit, this young posse ain't that is better than a lot of shit that's come from here from some people who are not culturally appropriating. Like
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like a lot of some of the new artists are cultural appropriation too. I don't know what they're appropriating because there's a lot of trash out there. They're
Yeah.
they're appropriating the
yeah,
garbage dump.
yeah, yeah. So the girls are coming riding a low rider down Venice boardwalk. They're riding it down the boardwalk, and they go by Muscle Beach, and they hit switches on the low rider, and it's like a low rider Cadillac too. It's so awesome, and
You know,
it's like graphics.
here's the crazy thing about hip hop. We take this position that we are the owners of it, and anybody else that
Not
does it
anymore.
in the world is appropriating it. However, it is a universal genre around the world, and that's like saying because black people started jazz, if there is a very talented jazz trombonist or trumpeter or something, but he's French, is he culturally appropriating because he's not of the particular skin color to play jazz, or is the music itself
Well,
the
I I think people mix that up. I think people culture is supposed to be appropriated because the best culture, the most popular culture, rises to the top, and that's just with everything, right?
mm-hmm,
Like martial arts and whatnot. It's like culture is appropriated, but you have to give credit to
yeah,
where it came from. The problem I think a lot of black people have with culture appropriation is people that take our culture, usually predominantly European descendants, don't give us credit for creating it. And they change the name to make it seem like they created it, such as
yeah,
boxer braids.
yes,
Boxer
you're
braids are
absolutely
just
right.
cornrows. They're just
Mm-hmm.
cornrow braids. But when Vogue magazine wrote about it, instead of crediting it to African women that have had braids in their hair for over
For
thousands of
thousands of
years,
years.
Thousands
Yeah.
of
they
years.
said Kendall Kardashian came up with it. And their boxer braids, so it looks like boxers, women boxers have them. And it's like, where do you think these women boxers got them from? Black women that
Yeah.
have braids, but they didn't want to acknowledge that. So I think that's point of the whole point of culture is to be appropriated. Because if your culture is with your group and only your group can have it, then you protect and die over it. You fight
Mm-hmm.
and die over it. If it's not and it spreads, which we did want hip hop to do, because we were all upset when nobody was listening to hip hop in the 80s, and we were really excited when the hip hop blew open in the 90s and became popular, and we all got Snoop Dogg, Gin and Juice, and then that went worldwide, so it does make sense.
Yeah,
So
but it's
things
very
are so.
easy to get
Mhm.
upset when you have your new edition and they get overshadowed by NSYNC. When you
Yes,
Or
have,
if you
what I'm
have
saying,
friends
you
and
have
it gets it
MC, yeah,
overshadows living single.
yes,
You
yeah,
and
or
they,
know.
you
and
have
and they, and they
MC
ignore.
Hammer and MC Hammer, he's overshadowed by Vanilla Ice. Like that
Yes,
shit,
yeah, it
is
angers you because that's
yeah.
not that they didn't get credit to where it came from. Like
Mm-hmm.
people were mad because Eminem was crediting better black rappers for being great rappers because they wanted to say I'm the best. Yes, I know it. And he's like, oh no, I'm not the best. I'm best at what I do, but there are far better rappers than me out here.
Mm-hmm.
And it angers people. The same thing they did when they asked Jimmy Page who's the greatest guitarsman, and he goes Prince. And they asked Jack White who's the greatest guitarsman. He goes Prince. It was a big thing. They all these great guitarsmen were in Rolling Stone saying, "No, it's not Jimmy. Jimmy's amazing. We give Jimmy his props. Jimmy died before we could actually see him turn into something great. But the greatest that we've ever heard is Prince." And they asked Prince, "Who's the greatest?" He goes, "Me." He goes, "Me."
Of course, Prince would say
Yeah.
that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
was I
And at
supposed
the
to say
Rock and
somebody
Roll Hall
else?
of
No, it's
Fame,
like, have you
they had a
met me?
concert where it was given. They showed off all the greatest guitarsmen that are alive today,
Hmm.
and Prince came on last, and they were all just wild about what he was doing on guitar.
Mm-hmm.
They're like he
Yeah.
does things with his little dainty hands and his big doe eyes that none of us can do.
Yeah. And 6-inch stilettos.
And Sister Stilettos. He fell off the
Yes.
stage backwards, and his bodyguard caught him like he's a girl falling out of a tower. It was amazing. It was amazing watching it. And I worked on Guitar Hero, and they all talked about it. Like our holy grail was to get a Prince game and him playing guitar because people don't understand the genius behind how he plays guitar. And it was like, but they wanted people to say that it was somebody else that was better than Prince and better than Jimi Hendrix. And they were like, nah, that's the pinnacle.
Well, a lot of rock and roll people would argue that right now. They would tell you, even though the people that they revere said, no, no, Prince is that guy, they will argue you up and down. No, no, it's not Prince. It's one of these other guys. It's Robert Plant, or, you know what I'm saying? One of these other guys,
They
Jimmy
asked them
Buffett,
all.
or I don't know, whoever the hell they
And
say.
they asked them all, and all of them say Prince. And then they asked Prince, and he was like me. And he knew, but they would. And that's just it, right? It's like um culture is supposed to spread if you're trying to make it spread. Now, there's certain
Hmm.
things you want to hold to your culture, then you keep it in your group and don't share it. You keep it a secret. Things that, things that Koreans and Japanese people want to keep into themselves, they don't share that stuff. As a foreigner, you can go to Japan and there's like 60% of the country you'll never be exposed to because you're a foreigner. They
Hmm.
won't let you into it. They're like, nah, not you. This is for us. And that's what you do. But if culture is just dancing and singing, that's not much of a culture.
Yeah.
There's other things the culture is that better than dancing and singing. I can think of a million things like science, like health. There's a million things that are more worth it. But it's just interesting that these young Korean girls who who now Korea is infatuated with like 90s hip hop because it only took a matter of time for them to be infatuated because they've been making 90s R&B music for the last 20 years and it's crushing it. It's crushing everything out there. We don't even have girl groups no more. We don't have boy groups no more.
Nope.
And we watch Koreans like put in these factories, grind it up into perfect performers of the Jackson 5 and New Edition and stuff, dancing like Chris Brown come out and they make 90s R&B and they're like, "Hey, what went with this?" They're like, "This hip hop." Even the rock bands they had sound like 90 rock bands.
Hmm.
It's amazing how good the 90s were. And we got kids
Yeah.
today that can't even pronounce syllables and words on song.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Mm.
bad. So, and I watched this video. They is an homage to Grand Theft Auto and they're in Venice and the fact that it's called Ate That. We ate that.
They ate, and they did.
They ate it. They ate it up. They ate it up. And the name of the group is called Young Posse. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
It's appropriate and fantastic.
It is. It is. It is. It is.
Just
So I
remember
tell
where you
people,
got it from. That's it.
yeah,
That's all I care about.
and they do.
Just
They don't.
remember where
They
you come
don't.
from. That's it.
Korean pop
Have
stars don't
fun.
deny it. They're like,
Have
oh,
fun.
this is from black people in the 80s, 90s. Like they don't deny where they got fried chicken from. Like Koreans are like, they're held as the people to make the best fried chicken. They're like, yeah, we stole it from soldiers. Soldiers came over and taught us how to make fried chicken. It's okay.
Hmm.
China's been making fried chicken for 1,000 years, but
Making
they
some
never
short
breaded
ribs.
that shit. Nobody breaded it. Everybody just took the chicken wing and thrown it into the fryer.
Hmm.
They threw
Making
some
them different
seasoning
kind of
on it, threw it in the
chicken
fryer.
arms. Some
It was
chicken
black people
arms.
that taught us how to bread it up and throw seasoning on and throw it into the fryer. That bread it made the difference. One thing made the difference. Like Filipinos like we make adobo chicken. Have y'all had that? That's the most flavorful chicken you're gonna ever have in your life. It's delicious. It is amazing, and it's not fried, but it's delicious. It's like crack.
So what we got coming up next?
uh,
Because I think
Next,
it's
sorry, oh, it's time. It's time.
yeah,
It's
yeah, it's time
Everybody
for
get back to us. Oh, we
Pod
actually have
Squadron.
Five
We
Squadron. We're gonna crosstalk. One more story. We gotta do this one story, guys.
What?
Nintendo Museum is opening up in Japan. Tell me y'all going. Tell me
The
y'all want to go to
Nintendo
it.
Museum.
Yes,
I
yes.
would have assumed that would have already been built.
So they had at one point they had an installation where they had Nintendo DSs in the museum, a
Mhm.
haiku museum, and I got to go to when I was in college there, and they shut it down. But now they have a Nintendo Museum Direct reveals a giant Wiimotes and other treasures along with prices and opening date. We don't really know. So the scheduled opening date is October 2nd. I don't think we had the prices, but
That actually that actually seems pretty awesome. And I guess I was
yes.
grown and I kind of missed the Nintendo wave. I kind of caught the tail end of it, and I
Hmm.
went from Atari pretty much to PlayStation 2. Um,
Damn,
yeah,
Mr.
like
You
I
G.
missed a
miss,
whole lot there.
yeah, I
Golly.
did. I did, you know what I'm saying? And like, some of my younger cousins had Super Nintendos and stuff like that, but I didn't really, I was trying to live life, trying to figure shit out. Um,
Hmm.
so I missed quite a bit. But that actually does sound awesome. Rodney in the chat said that it's $23 a ticket. So
Oh,
Damn,
$23.
that was here in the
um,
Okay.
States. That'd have been like $230 a ticket.
That sounds
yeah,
awesome, you guys. I think we need to have a trip there. Yeah, it's 3,300 yen. Hmm. Okay. So okay, it's down here. It's cheaper price for a range of children, and right now the museum is holding a lottery drawing for a chance to purchase tickets for the dates beginning with the museum's grand opening on October 2nd.
that does sound
Um,
awesome though.
yeah, they have a
That does
ton of
sound like fun.
Nintendo products. Visitors can't see every attraction with a single ticket, so you definitely have to come back more than once. Make your own Hanafuda cards. I have some Nintendo Hanafuda cards. That's what people that got Nintendo got their start was playing this card game. It's kind of like a Hanafuda is kind of like Gin Rummy meets Dominoes.
Huh.
It's a really simple game to pick up and play, and you play
Okay,
Hanafuda. It's one of my favorite games. I have it over here. I haven't played it in years because nobody in America really plays it.
okay,
But they have
Hanafuda.
Nintendo classic games and whatnot. People care to forget this toy company has basically survived the whole entire industry, the whole entire time.
mm-hmm.
And it's
Mario
amazing.
changed the world.
Yep, Mario did. And it's October.
Japanese dudes made a game about a little Italian plumber.
Yep, yep. Who eats shrooms? Because you know Miyamoto was high as hell when he thought of it.
Oh
Look,
yeah,
guys, I got this.
oh
I
yeah.
mean, you had to go to somebody and say, "Look, I got this plumber idea guy. The one that was up here chasing Donkey Kong. That's a different guy. That's a whole different guy. I got this other guy, right? He runs across the world trying to get the princess, right, from this big turtle that has spikes on his back, and he blows fire. And as he runs, he can jump and hit bricks, and they break. Some bricks aren't there, so he jumps and he makes the brick, and he gets like mushrooms out of it. Then he gets a flower and he throws fire. Like you
Yeah,
have to be on some real
he's
good
high
drugs
as
for
hell.
that. High as hell.
Yeah.
He
High
had the
as a
munchies. He's
giraffe
like, yeah, that's a
ass.
great idea. And they were like, you know what? Let's just roll with that. Let's just roll with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did some of that real good stuff. And I was like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
this is where I got the idea from. And he
Yeah.
and he jumps down flagpoles. Then he goes to the next castle because the princess ain't there. And he's talking to a mushroom, but he eats mushrooms at the same time. And
Can
the
you
and
see
the
that pitch meeting? And then he's explaining the game,
yeah,
and Snoop Dogg is like, "Yeah, I like it. I can see it all.
yeah,
I can see
yeah.
that whole
The
game."
mushroom is
Yeah,
named
baby, make that
Toad.
happen.
Yeah, right. The mushroom is named Toad, and he has a brother named Luigi because his name's Mario. Of course, he has a
He's
brother
like,
named
"Yeah, yeah,
Luigi.
yeah. I like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
nephew. I
yeah.
like that
And
nephew."
we're gonna call the princess Peach, and she has a friend named Daisy. Man, there's so much drugs in here, and he got a dinosaur, right? He rides the back of the dinosaur, and the dinosaur eats eggs and spits
Yeah.
out fire. Like
And then he
man,
and then he
it
gets
writes
to this little
itself.
flower. He touches flower, and he could throw fireballs.
Yep,
And then
yep.
he got a
And
little partner that can fly. Like, yeah,
yep. Then I put on this cape, and I don't fly, but if I spin around really fast, I fly. And I have squirrel ears with the square tail. Like
Donkey.
high as hell, high
high
than a
as hell.
All
mother.
of that.
High as hell.
All of that.
High as hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
It works. It works. It works. I mean, Steve Jobs said that's how he made Apple. He went out and got high. He went out and got high and was like he did some acid and was out and about doing his walkabout. It was like, yo, I got a
Yeah.
plan.
Check
When we
this
use
out.
check this, let's make this thing called the power book, the ebook. He was like, he just thought of stuff. Like, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. We
Mm.
make this eMac computer all in one, put it in a nice shell, and it's colorful. You have neon colors with it.
Yeah,
Rest
you
for
high.
sisters.
High.
High.
A little bit.
High.
A little
High.
bit.
High.
Who we got? We got people waiting on us in crosstalk.
I don't know, Rodney. We got crosstalk ready.
Do we?
Yep. Yep. Let's do it. Let's do it. He's getting ready. But yeah, that's so crazy. But I want to go to this Nintendo and I want to see the peyote pipe that he
Said the
used.
peyote pipe.
The peyote pipe he used to come up with Super Mario Brothers. Because that game
He was
changed
on that.
everything.
He was
And
on
he
that
runs to the
ayahuasca.
right. Ayahuasca. You
Man, they
know?
travel through pipes, man.
He
Yeah.
jumped through pipes. He jumps through pipes. And he collects coins. Why? I don't know. We just let him collect coins. Why else? He collects coins. Hey,
You're
Tracy.
crazy.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
Andy.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Hello,
Andy's
Governor.
trying to get
Yo.
together. We're talking about the Nintendo Museum in Japan that's opening up October 2nd.
Oh, cool.
I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about drugs. I heard ayahuasca. Isn't
Yeah,
that like a
we're talking about Miyamoto.
We're
In order
we're
to
talking
create
about how
Super Mario
Miyamoto
Brothers, you
came
got,
up with the Super Mario's game.
but
Yeah.
like he had to be on drugs. He had to be on drugs.
Oh, okay.
Think
Yeah,
about
Japanese
it.
company made a
Somebody comes
worldwide
in, it's like, I
phenomenon
got the
game about a
idea.
Italian plumber.
I
Yeah.
got the idea it's gonna change everything. You play as this plumber, right? And you
Lord.
actually are trying to get the princess back because she's been kidnapped by a big ass turtle with spikes on the back that blows fire. And he's moving from castle to castle. And you think about it. That whole game is a drug trip. It's an acid trip.
Yeah. And then to get bigger and more stronger, you have to take
Yes.
mushrooms.
You gotta
Yeah.
take mushrooms. Yes, your life. You collect coins. Why you collect coins? Nobody knows why. You just collect them. Why do we got money? Why do we even got money? It's commentary.
Yeah, I granted I can count on one hand the number of times I've ever like smoked weed or done any kind of mushrooms, but I have never once gotten high from either.
I have my item.
Huh?
You know,
You never got high when on what?
Off of
on
weed
either
or mushrooms.
Okay. Wow.
you need to hang out with Miyamoto then apparently.
You hang out Miyamoto.
You have all the great ideas,
Yeah.
Tracy. Like, oh
You
yeah.
have all the great ideas.
But I
Yes,
don't
move
but I
over.
don't get
Move
high
over
from them.
Leslie Headland
Yeah,
and Kathleen
yeah,
Kennedy.
yeah,
I got a
yeah.
real idea.
I got an
Let's
idea.
talk Dave Filoni. Let's talk, baby.
Yeah.
I've never seen things. I've never seen colors. I've never seen
Yes.
things.
Oh,
Nothing.
that's
Then.
unfortunate.
Yes.
You're here in California. There's good mushrooms running around here. They're everywhere.
Oh wow.
Wait,
You
now
know-
are
This
mushrooms
is giving.
are mushrooms also included as legal or under prescription?
Yes.
You can buy them
You
at
can buy
the
'em.
store. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think they're illegal. Yeah. In Japan,
I
they're not
also
illegal.
it also takes way too much alcohol to get me drunk. So I think I have like
Wow.
the
Oh, you have a
opposite of
super
that
high
gene.
tolerance. I guess,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
I have the opposite of that gene.
That's cool. What's up, Jason? Jason's trying to get together. Yes,
Jason, you're muted, I think.
Yeah, you're muted.
I was muted there. Sorry. Hey.
How you
And
doing?
actually, here's the crazy thing. So, Rodney put it in the chat, and so Andy and Jason, I hear that you guys were at D23. How was that?
Mhm.
Yeah, we were.
Crazy.
We actually didn't. We still have not crossed paths yet.
We have not. We're like always like we like literally walked in and out of Oga's one time, like past
Right.
apparently. Like he took a picture and then like 10 minutes later I took the same picture. I'm like, are you what's going on? So, but yeah. So
Batu's not that big.
I
Oh, what?
It was the mushrooms. It was the mushrooms.
The mushrooms,
but
yes.
it was the Batu mushrooms. Yes.
George Lucas, prime example of what mushrooms can do for you. He admitted it.
Ray
He
put
admitted
those
it.
mushrooms in
I
her
mean, it was the
bread.
70s,
Oh,
you know.
man.
It was the 70s.
That's-
70s was a crazy time. I'm just saying.
Hey, Miyamoto
man,
thought of
laser swords,
Mario. It
man,
was like the
laser
70s
swords.
too.
that may have been LSD in his case.
Maybe he may have been
Sounds
LSD,
right.
maybe. He's like, I got this orange sunshine. Man, what we can do with miniatures. Oh my God.
Leia in the sky with diamonds.
You know what
There
I'm
you go.
saying? And like Imagine a
With Death
dog on 2
Stars.
feet that's really big. Wouldn't that be amazing? That's amazing.
Yeah, I always
Like-
like that dog.
yeah. He's looking at his Labrador in there and is like, I'm gonna name you Chewy. 'Cause I'm hungry right now. You're gonna be on 2 feet.
He had the munchies. Yeah.
But to answer your question, D23 is fun. I think we're going to talk a little bit about some of what we saw. I actually ended up having to skip most of the convention season this year, so that was like my only dive into convention season this year.
Okay.
Was it big and grandiose?
Yeah, I mean, okay, it's a combination, right? Because
Mhm.
it's Disney, and it's Disney kind of pulling out all the stops, and trying to kind of muscle in on the whole Comic-Con, thing. But that said, because it's so much more niche, it's also a little bit more calm in some
Yeah.
ways. It's not like, every once in a while I go to San Diego Comic-Con and I'm like, okay, I'm fine for a little bit. And then, after a couple hours, you're walking the floor and you're like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go find a corner to go rock in for a little bit and then I'll be fine. Right? There's not quite that kind of crazy of crowd at D23. And particularly this year, I don't know, how'd you feel about the crowds, Jason?
I mean, there were parts in the convention center that I felt were way less than before, but I also feel like, to me, it was slightly underwhelming compared to previous years, at least convention center wise. But maybe that's because, then I go to the Honda Center and it's like a madhouse, and
Oh gosh,
that was insane. So I mean, but I think like keeping the big panels off to that thing and not having everyone waiting at the Anaheim Center for it, like it dulled that sensation a little bit. But I mean, but
Are they within walking distance, or do they shuttle?
No,
they're not.
It was like a 10-minute drive, and in an Uber, it was like a 30-minute drive because they wouldn't let you park close. And
yeah, they had shuttles over there.
yeah,
It's separate tickets, right? Don't you have to buy additional tickets to go to the Honda Center stuff?
yeah.
It's kind of like the big Star Trek convention in Las Vegas that way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. The Vegas,
okay.
the Star Trek
Definitely
experience.
was the most expensive D23.
Oh,
So
yeah.
because I'm buying for 3 people and it's like, oh, it used to only be like $200. Oh God, there's my kid's college tuition.
And you have to get a hotel because you're in Northern California, right?
Yeah, no. So we
Yeah.
were right near Disneyland, and then we were gonna take the shuttle, and every time we were waiting for the shuttle, it just wasn't showing up at like our hotel. And I'm like, we're not gonna make it. Let's get an Uber. So there went $30. And then I'm just like, this is insane. I'm glad we got to see it, but I'm also like, I don't need to do that again. So I'll wait for the YouTube live stream and just watch it like everyone else did in the moment, So.
And that's after spending so much money at Comic-Con too. Good.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were there, and we had a drink and we're like, oh, Comic-Con. So
you would think Disney had a dedicated D23 team, right?
Yes.
You would think that.
You would think. But I think
they're a nonprofit, you guys.
Yeah.
Disney's a nonprofit company. They
Disney's hurting.
Making magic.
I know, right? They're hurting. We need to help them.
It's tough out there. It's
Come
tough.
on.
Magic
Please save the poor CEOs.
The house needs some cheese.
Magic is expensive. Mickey needs cheese.
Mickey's
never seen Mickey eat.
He needs the cheddar, man. He hurting.
He does.
That Steamboat Willie public domain stuff really just cut into his bottom line.
Yeah. Suffering out here.
He's suffering.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, Winnie
all
the
those
Pooh.
horror movies.
Oh man, I know, right? Bambi the Reckoning.
Which, speaking of a ride you want to be high on, Winnie the Pooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
By Heffalumps and Woozles, I mean high.
Oh yeah, there's Winnie the Pooh right in Disneyland. Yeah.
Dumbo too. You see pink elephants.
Yeah. Was it Mr. Toad?
Yeah, you definitely gotta be high.
Yes. Mr. Toad is the cautionary tale on drunk driving.
Yeah, Mr. Toad's the wild ride.
All right.
You're gonna see that too.
Mr. Toad is like stay off the 5.
That's another ride for you.
It's a whole nother ride.
Yeah, it's a wild one.
Good
So,
times.
what else are y'all talking about besides D23 stuff?
Let's see here. Okay, so we're talking about
Skeleton Crew?
D23. Yeah, we're going to talk about some of the trailers that came out because they announced a release date for Skeleton Crew. Also, some footage about Acolyte season 2. Let's see here.
You
What
mean the
else?
non-existent Acolyte
Okay,
season 2?
Or not Acolyte?
Right.
Andor, the other A.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Oh, Acolyte.
Mm.
R.I.P.
I was about
rumor
to say
has
that
it.
Acolyte season 2, that's going to be a short conversation.
Rumor has it.
I'm just really upset that we don't get to see more of Manny's abs. That's
Rumor
really
has
sad
it,
about that.
Tracy.
The petitions
Hold on,
are
hold
Wait,
on.
killing it.
wait, hear it. I want to
Hold on,
hear it. I
hold
want to hear it.
Rumor has it. I'm not saying I have any insider information,
Yes.
but
But you do.
it's not the Acolyte anymore. It's going to be a show dedicated to Manny and then
Okay.
But
Let's
that's
see.
what everybody wants anybody.
That's what I was wondering, right? I was
That's
wondering
what they
if
want
maybe they
anyway.
just transitioned it,
gonna
and
transition
then
those
instead
characters.
of like, okay, so the Acolyte brand is not working.
Yeah.
Can we move all that story work into a
Mhm.
different name and then focus it on?
It's
Yeah.
He
still
was the
canon.
best part of the
Fingers
series anyway.
crossed.
He was.
And
he was
And
the
not
best part
just
of the
because of his
series.
abs.
and
Just his
and you know,
abs.
Sure.
He didn't like the
announcing
Nah.
the
arm, he didn't like his guns
cancellation,
neither. His guns.
announcing the
too.
cancellation, automatically mobilizes the people who enjoyed the show to set up the petition and
Mhm.
show the love and just try and rebrand it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
that's what I
Darth-
was wondering.
Darth
'cause
Smiley coming
Those
to a
characters
TV
aren't
near you.
dead.
Yeah.
Those
He is
characters aren't dead.
genuinely a very good actor and was the most interesting for me to watch. And that was before I saw his abs. I'm just saying.
Jason
Those were
Mendoza,
just the
Lord
cherry
of the
on
Sith.
top.
I'm gonna be the
That's
good
hilarious.
voice guy. So
He was the best actor you seen in that show. Okay. I mean, he did kill Sith
Well,
Lord. He was in the
okay.
mask.
Okay, but maybe like acting ability wise, he's right up there. But like
Yes.
just like the way that he was, like the way he like emoted, it was just the most intriguing to me of any of the characters. Like,
Yeah.
genuinely,
Yeah.
like
I
that
mean-
sort of like creepy, like slow talk that he had and everything. Like it just was, I don't know, it was the most interesting performance out of all of them to me.
I
agree
mean,
with
honestly,
that.
I felt like there were a lot of really interesting performances and characters. It just my main problem with Acolyte was just the pacing and like
Mm.
how the mystery was kind of hinging on not telling parts of the story.
Mhm.
Yeah. It took Saul, 7 episodes to tell his story. Like, dude, too
Oh,
long.
God.
Like, come on, guys.
When every episode ends with "I have to tell you," and then he like faints or something like that. Okay, I'm going to tell you, stunned. It's like,
They're trying to run it out like an anime. Like, what if we had
Felt
these
very,
anime
telenova
tropes
on
and
that. Yeah. Filler.
and throw it in,
Filler,
throw it
filler,
into-
filler.
Because the Acolyte could have been a movie and it'd been amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
It could've
Just
been
some
2.5
weird pacing
hours. It
things.
could have been 2 hours and been great.
Well,
90
and
minutes.
and honestly, characters that were really interesting. And honestly, like when you see it all the way through, and it's like when you see like later episodes, like when they die earlier, it's like, oh, I could have cared about that death more if I just had a little bit more time.
Yeah.
You know?
With that
Yeah, because I
character,
really
right?
liked the
There's
young
Carrie Ann
Jedi.
Moss.
Yeah.
Jackie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although she kind of came back in the flashbacks, but like the younger Jedi girl, the one who was in Logan,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want,
Daphne
Daphne
King.
Keene.
Yep.
yeah, like I was totally invested in her character, and then all of a sudden she was just dead, and it was like, oh, okay.
I mean,
Yep.
shoot, man, there was a whole internet like meme for the Yord Horde.
The
Yes.
Yord Horde.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Default haircut.
And
Yes.
of course, like they hint at a relationship of some kind, and May, or not May, and
Osha and Kamir.
Well, no, between
Osha
Osha
and Yord.
and Yord,
And Yord.
Yord.
but we never actually get to see like a flashback of them coming up together. It was just like, okay, well,
Yeah, because he was bitter
lost
when she came back.
opportunities.
Thought you
I
were
don't think there was
gone.
a relationship between them. He seemed like the kind of dude that she might have liked him, and he was too busy being the safety patrol dude or whatever. Had his little
But they were
belts on, and
students
he was
together,
Very,
right?
he was a crossing
Maya,
guard at
very,
school. Like,
Maya and Steve Urkel.
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I think he was too pretty because my boyfriend did not like him.
I think a lot of us didn't like your what's your problem, man?
Yeah.
Haircut.
You the
The
police.
haircut, the hair.
the
That
police, the hair.
default haircut, the
Outside
default
of
video
the
game
default
haircut,
haircut.
boy.
I don't know.
Yes, the hair.
He was police. Like,
I mean,
he
why you
was
act like
police.
I
Why
mean,
you act like
basically,
police?
it's also a variation on Elon's new haircut, which is basically what's his name from the Fifth Element.
Yeah, it is. Man,
Talking about Gary
man.
Oldman's character.
Gary Oldman's character.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
That's hilarious.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Oh my god.
Well, we gotta get ready to let you guys go and do
Yeah.
y'all show.
Right
Thank
on.
you all. I'm gonna look forward to watching this show, hear about D23, because I feel kind of absent missing it. But after working it, I'm like, I'm good. I'm really good on D23.
Right on, man.
All right. See you all.
See you all.
Bye.